How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. So I'm on here today to talk about habits. I've been talking about habits for a while now, for the past few weeks, because we are dropping the workshop series. And the first workshop in the workshop series is a special bonus recorded workshop, and it is all about habit setting in the classroom. It shows you exactly how to create habits that will help you meet your goals, organize, de-stress your life, help students, and it shows you exactly how you can make those habits stick. And that's what we want. We want habits that last the long haul. So if you want to decrease the amount of stress from being disorganized, or if you want to automate systems or transitions with your kids, if you want to save yourself mental energy and stress, rewire your brain to stop being triggered by student behavior or classroom overwhelm and stimulation, habit setting is for you. It is absolutely transformative. It doesn't just end in the classroom. If you want to eat more nutritiously, exercise, or get movement in your schedule more consistently, or if you want to wake up earlier, meditate regularly, it all starts with habits. Throw the idea of motivation out the window. It has nothing to do with motivation. Motivation is way too fleeting to rely on it to create a behavior that you have to repeat over and over and over for years. You cannot rely on motivation for that. Motivation goes in waves, and that's just the human brain. Dopamine, it's a chemical response. Anyway, so habits don't end in the classroom. They are used all the time to create more satisfaction, more confidence, just systems that help you save money and time and energy. And they're just fantastic, and I love them so much. And that's why I created a workshop about them. So the reason why habit setting is so underutilized, because if you think about it, like, oh, well, if habits are so great, why doesn't everybody use them? It's because they're really, really, really misunderstood. From what habits are, to how they form, to how we create them. People think that if they just wait long enough or repeat a behavior enough amount of times, or they just have the right motivation, that eventually a habit will take root. And that's not the case. Successful habits are not determined by how much time passes or even how much motivation you have at the moment. Successful habits are created by following specific rules. And this is where the workshop comes in, right? We're going to show you exactly what rules to follow, how to set the rules, what they look like, what they feel like. You get a workbook. You get to write about the rules, create the habits that you want. Anyway, so these rules are not hard or overly complicated. They're actually really, really, really easy. And I'm going to talk about them in a sec after I shamelessly plug this workshop series, because it is the bomb. I'm so excited for it. It's interactive. It is helping you meet your needs, helping you meet your students' needs. And the workshop that I want to talk about for just a moment today is the Power of Habits workshop. So in the Power of Habits workshop, I'm going to be showing you exactly what you need to do, exactly the rules you need to follow, the behaviors you need to consider that will get you the habits that you want, that will get you the habits that will get you closer to your goals, and can just honestly just de-stress and limit the amount of overwhelm that you feel. It's habits. I'm telling you, it's habits. So if you want to just comment workshop and get the link and then check the workshop series out, just comment workshop right now. But if you want to learn more about the 2 rules that I'm going to explain in this live, stay on, because I'm going to be talking about 2 very, very important rules when you go to create or design the habits that you want. So in my live last Friday, I talked about starting easy, which for habit setting means starting really, really, really small. And then you build on your habit from there. Tiny. If you watch that, I kept going tiny. It's because when you start with a habit, it needs to be tiny. I honestly think the hardest thing about creating habits is the amount of patience it takes to build the habit into the habit that you envisioned, because you have to start small. So one of the rules of habit setting is that it is not elapsed time. Time really has nothing to do with it. It's how many reps you put in. How many times have you repeated the behavior? This is crucial to understand because it helps you from getting discouraged and fighting the urge to shame yourself when you don't succeed right away. And it's so easy to feel that shame, and then you just give up. And if you give up, then you're never going to experience the amazingness of having systems automated that you don't have to think about, like transitions, entering your room and setting it up, or lesson planning on a Friday so you don't have to do anything on Monday, right? Those are the habits that we want. So you can't give up. You can't get discouraged. You can't let yourself get discouraged. It takes reps, right? It takes patience. It takes starting small. You can slowly build up your habit. You will find success as long as you follow the specific rules of habit setting. There are a reason why so many books have been written about them, why there are experts in Stanford and Harvard and working at Google that's like they just work on habit setting. It works. So in fact, last live, I talked about the habit that I created about to get up in the morning and actually get myself to the gym. I am a creature of habit. In fact, the transition from teaching in the classroom to now owning my own business, like that's the first thing I started focusing on, because I have ADHD and autism. If I don't have my habits, my life gets all out of sorts. So I rely on habits. I relied on habits in the classroom. I rely on habits to run this business. It's why I created this workshop. They are so, so, so fundamental to success in anything. So another rule to follow, let me review that rule because I went on a tangent, right? So the rule that I just talked about was that it is not elapsed time, it is putting in your reps. Putting in your reps. Don't get discouraged. The behavior will take root as long as you follow the rules and you put in the reps. Second rule is that you want to habit stack. Stack those habits. Stack. Like you're stacking blocks. Habit stacking is a method. It was created by BJ Fogg, and James Clear talks about it in Atomic Habits. It is the idea that you attach a behavior that you want to create as a habit, a behavior you want to do consistently. You attach that behavior to something that you already do. It's like you're stacking the habits on top of each other. So humans chain behaviors all the time. And if you've ever tried to clean your house when it's really messy, you've definitely experienced this. A behavior chain is when you do one thing and it leads to you doing another, and that thing leads to you doing another thing, and that thing leads to you doing another thing. In fact, they say 40% of human behavior is habitual. It's behavior chaining. So if you are cleaning your house, this looks like you are cleaning your living room and you notice a sock. And you're like, oh, the sock. You put it in your laundry basket, realize that the laundry needs to be done. Take the laundry down to the washer and dryer, and then you see a fork or something, and you're like, oh my gosh, the dishes. So you take the fork to the dishes, or to the sink, and now you're doing the dishes. And then 3 hours into it, you have a partially cleaned house, and you're absolutely exhausted. That is behavior chaining. And it can be really, really helpful if you're intentional with it and you use it to design your habits. But it also can be really, really harmful if you don't notice it's happening and you're just bouncing from task to task, especially if you're ADHD. If you're ADHD, you either need to get in this workshop or you need to read Atomic Habits and Tiny Habits. Message me if you want those books. Habits will save your life. So when we habit stack, we intentionally attach a behavior we want to become habitual with a behavior we already do every day. Like that behavior chain, one behavior leads to another, which leads to another. We are intentionally designing the behavior chain when we habit stack. If you want to learn exactly how to habit stack or the 5 rules of creating habits that stick, check out the workshop series, which features the bonus workshop, The Power of Habits, Using Habits in the Classroom to Maximize Your Time and Energy. Hey. I am really, really excited. I absolutely love habits. I absolutely love workshops. It's going to be a good time. So each workshop will focus on a specific skill that is crucial for succeeding as a teacher, but isn't traditionally taught in college or in PDs. If you love dynamic experiences like storytelling, mind mapping, self-reflection, collaborative discussions, this workshop series, any workshop that I host is for you. But this workshop series is for you. So each workshop is packed with interactive activities, thought-provoking reflections. I think that's honestly like my biggest strength, is bringing reflections into the workshop that click to those aha moments. Because that's really, every workshop that I design is designed to create mind shifts or paradigm shifts in how we think about learning, how we think about the brain, how we think about behavior. So the self-reflection activities, I think, are like, that's my gold star, Michelin 5-star review characteristic of my workshops. Anyway, so each workshop is packed with interactive activities, and you will leave every session with practical strategies you can apply immediately to reduce classroom behaviors and ease your workload. Join us to transform your classroom with the tools you need, taught in the way that you want. The workshop happens live at 8 p.m. EST on Zoom and are currently on pre-sale. You can comment here to get the link, or you can go to my website, teachingtoariot.com, and head to the tab labeled The Workshop Series. See you all next Monday, December 16th at 4:30 p.m. EST, where I'm going to do a Q&A, your questions on habits answered.